Part 4. Meanwhile, in Britain, the EU referendum is happening. I think there's a mistaken belief that Brexit supporters are naive and have been misled. To engage with them, I think it's important to understand that they are reasonably clear about what they want and what getting it might entail. In some ways, austerity may have trained people for Brexit. Hard to threaten people with low growth and unemployment when that's all they can remember. I think most Brexit voters understand that it will make travel much harder and don't care. Just a casual observation based on the few Brexit voters I've met, but generally their xenophobia is definitely stronger than their desire to retrace Lord Byron's footsteps to the Temple of Poseidon. We won't get free healthcare in Europe. I'm sure Bulgarian families are rejoicing that they can take their children to A&E without having to shield them from a scouser getting a stranger's tongue piercing removed from their foreskin. But there's also good news. Unemployment is falling as the amount of vacancies for hate crime advisors soar. Immigration has fallen anyway because Brexit has made the UK less attractive, in much the same way that if you want to stop cold collars, you fill your lawn with Union Jack waving gnomes and a frothing bulldog. Perhaps this is a natural endpoint of individualism. With a philosophy where people are told that it's their sense of self that's important, why wouldn't they distrust experts? Why wouldn't they look inside themselves for guidance? When we look inside ourselves, we tend to find not ideologies, but neuroses. Many people in Britain lately seem to have looked into their hearts and found little more than a dislike of hearing a conversation in another language, a hatred of women, a gnawing fear that they're being taken for a mug. And those get co-opted by real ideologues. Theresa May pursues Brexit because it represents an opportunity to forge a US trade deal broadly similar to TTIP and to stage a power grab at Westminster as it takes EU powers for itself. The Prime Minister doesn't actually care what the rate of immigration is. I mean, she does, in the same way that she has a view about whether she likes omelettes or not. But something so trivial as her actual opinion would never be allowed to affect policy. This misconception that the public are hardened ideologues, elites, picaresque figures motivated by petty rivalries is one of our society's propaganda positions. It's so powerful that when information comes in that contradicts it, it's simply disregarded. We're told that top Tories are constantly manoeuvring for the leadership of the party, but when it comes up for grabs, there isn't even an election. The idea that the truth would be broadcast, that someone would say, for example, Boris Johnson didn't stand for the Tory leadership because it would contradict his class interests and he would be destroyed by his own class, is simply unthinkable.